Hello everyone, I greet in the name of God Almighty. My name is Apostle Nathan Silas, and today we have a very interesting video to react to. And this brother says that how Israel stole Palestine. Okay, he's trying to give us a brief history about Israel and then the Palestine. Okay, so we're going to learn a lot in a sense from this video. So we're going to hear some of the things he's going to touch on this video. I want you to stay tuned with me. I believe that there is a lot that we are going to learn in this video, especially in this trial time. Okay, so if today happens to be the first time of you checking out my channel, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on my Facebook and Instagram. And if you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section and I'm going to check it out. So guys, before we get on to the video, I'm a theologian and I make this video not to discredit anyone's thought or opinion or even belief system, but then this is basically for educational purposes. And I believe that at the end of this video we all are going to learn from this. So without any further ado, let's get on to this video and check this out.
Palestine and Israel. It's complicated. Well, at least that's what some people would like you to think. We've long been sold the narrative of a tit-for-tat skirmish of rockets, a real estate dispute, or even a centuries-old religious feud. There's so much more to the story of Palestine we all need to know. So, how did we get here? Let's take it back to the beginning. It starts with the end of a world war, Muslims fighting each other, and a promise made by the West only a century ago. So here's how the story begins. It's 1916, and the First World War is raging on. The Ottoman Empire is 617 years old at this point and is on the brink of collapse. The British and the French had promised the Arabs sovereignty and Arab leadership over the Arabian Peninsula and the Levant if they helped them defeat the Ottomans. And so the Arabs said, okay, and so they helped them defeat the Ottomans. Now I know what you're thinking. What's this got to do with Palestine and the creation of Israel? Just trust me, we'll get there. Okay, so when the British and the French won, the Arabs wanted the land that was promised to them, but little did they know, the British and the French had this little top secret meeting. And in this top secret meeting, it was planned that the captured Ottoman province will be divided into areas of British and French control and influence. The British would receive Palestine, Jordan, and southern Iraq, while the French would control southeastern Turkey, northern Iraq, Syria, and Lebanon. This was called the Sykes-Picot Agreement. But then the Arabs found out about this agreement and they were shocked. They had been bamboozled and tricked. They thought that they were fighting a war in order to overthrow their non-Arab Muslim rulers, only to end up with, you guessed it, European colonial rulers instead. Anyway, that's a long story for another video. Now that the British occupy Palestine, something unusual is happening back in Europe. You see, the Zionist movement had been growing increasingly influential and lobbied hard to support the mass migration of Jews to Palestine and recognize a Jewish claim to the Palestinian land. And in 1917, Britain out of nowhere publicly declared its intentions of establishing a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. So the British just gifted Palestine, a country which was made up of 90% Palestinians, to European Zionists. They gave it just like you would give a box of chocolates. Historians still debate till this day why the British gave Palestine to Zionists. It's simply baffling. Now, at this point, the Jewish population in Palestine was less than 10%. So when the British started to facilitate the immigration of European Jews to Palestine from 1922 and 1935, the Jewish population rose to 27%. With the British mandate in full swing, mass European Jewish immigration meant that more land would be seized and the native Palestinian population grew increasingly worried. The Palestinians would demonstrate their concerns to their British overlords, but they wouldn't have it. European Jewish settlement was on the rise. The British proposed a partition of Palestine and even advised the forceful removal of the Arab population from their homes. And yes, this was their plan to resolve the issue. So the Palestinians naturally rejected this proposal and revolted against the British. The revolts were crushed violently, killing thousands of Palestinians. But the Palestinians wouldn't give up. They would continue their fight for independence, and the British were clearly fed up. So in 1947, the British decided to hand over the responsibility for Palestine to the United Nations. So basically, they just said, here, clean our mess. And so the UN proposed this ridiculous proposal again, where Palestine will be partitioned into a Jewish and Arab state. Remember, Jews in Palestine only constituted 1/3 of the population, most of whom arrived from Europe just a few years earlier. Yet, in this proposal, they were allocated 55% of the land. Feeling like they got a bad deal again, the Arabs rejected the proposal, and the Zionists accepted. However, here's the catch. The Zionists didn't agree to the proposed borders, and even campaigned for more land. So they agreed to an Israeli state, but didn't agree to the size of it, so they can just choose it for themselves. By 1948, Zionist militia would storm and capture Palestinian-populated villages and cities, leaving thousands of Palestinians homeless and landless. The Zionists wanted to seize and cleanse as much land from Palestine before the British would officially withdraw their forces. And on the same day that they left, the Zionists proclaimed the establishment of the new Israeli state. Overnight, millions of Palestinians lost their country. And what's even more bizarre is that immediately the two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, recognized the new state of Israel. And if it couldn't get any worse, May 15th, 1948 was perhaps one of the darkest days in Palestine's history. They called it the Nakba, or the catastrophe. To lose your country, your identity, and your home just like that is something truly horrifying. But that wasn't enough for those Palestinian men, women, and children. They had to be ethnically cleansed from their lands and driven into near total destruction. See, the creation of the State of Israel didn't just mean that 1.9 million Palestinians were forced out of their homes. Didn't just mean that 78% of historic Palestine had been taken from its natives. Didn't just mean that 530 villages and cities were destroyed and ethnically cleansed. And didn't just mean the killing of 15,000 Palestinians in a series of mass atrocities. It means that it was the start of something even more horrifying for the Palestinian people. It signaled over 70 years of occupation, home demolitions, arbitrary arrests, displacements, Israeli expansion, military checkpoints, construction of walls, discrimination, massacres, and bombing of innocent men, women, and children in their own homes. So no, it's not complicated. The Palestinians are a people who have been oppressed and had their lands taken away from them and have been suffering ever since. This is how the events of the past shape the conditions of today. This is why it is important to remember and reflect our history before it repeats itself again. Because Allah knows we don't need it to happen again in another part of the world. May Allah lift the pain and the struggles from our Palestinian brothers and sisters.
Wow, that's a very interesting video, listening to this brother telling us the story of Palestine. At least he was able to give us a little brief story about Israel and then Palestine, and then what transpired, and then how the lands of the Palestine, you understand, were taken. If what, you understand, this brother is saying like is true, then then it's condemnable and it's not, you understand, a good thing. We don't have to keep fighting for a piece of land, whereas what that we're supposed to be fighting for is how do we gain eternity, how can we get it to paradise, and then we begin to spread the word that will help us to get there, and not necessarily about fighting for piece of land, a piece of land that me and you knows that no one can even take it to heaven. As a matter of fact, as anybody die, any ones that died, you are not taking anything to heaven. The same way you came is the same way you return. It's just only your soul that is going to resurrect, innocent, and then waiting for judgment day to be able to know whether you're going to gain paradise, understand, or not. So what's the point of all this killing, sending rocket, killing this one, and then we keep preaching about God being our retribution? So if God is our retribution, why do we have to do so? We keep killing innocent people. That's just the worst part of it. People that has no idea about what this war is all about. They are the ones that are always, you understand, the casualty. Is it to talk about children? Is it to talk about women and all those things? Like so many atrocities, you understand, that's being committed at this point in time. But then one thing that I just want to say to me and you is that just like the Bible says in the book of Matthew chapter 24, when you look at from verse 27 and then when you look at from verse 7 and then also verses 8, okay, was saying that the signs of the last day, he says, kingdom will rise against kingdom, nation rise against nation, there will be earthquake, there will be a famine, there is all those things. And then these are some of the things that are happening. Of course, just some couple of days ago, or shall I say a month ago, we saw the earthquake that happened in Morocco, how a lot of lives, you understand, we are lost. Even last week we saw what happened in is it Pakistan or Afghanistan, the earthquake that also occurs again. Now look at Israel and Palestine, you understand, attacking, you understand, one another. These are what the signs of the last day. It shows that the end is near, or shall I even say the end has come, and it is time for me and you to return back to our maker. Pray to God for guidance, pray for God, you understand, for direction, or for every decision and anything, you understand, we'll do on this very earth. Because the way it is, my life can be taken away, your life can be taken away, and if I am no more today, what will I say to my maker? What will you say to your maker? Is it something that you should personally reflect it, you understand, in your life? And then if you understand you do not have any substantial, you understand, answer to it, I can only encourage you that you should return back to your maker. Go to God in prayer, kneel before him, pray to him, ask him for forgiveness. And the Bible have already made us to understand that our God is just, that's going to forgive us of all our unrighteousness, despite the fact that we have so many iniquities and sin that we have done. We have transgressed against, you know, our maker. And then the Bible is making us to understand that God is going to forgive us, which is what, you understand, I want you to do. And then to understand that, please, whatever you do on this very earth, knows that you are going nowhere with it. So it does not worth taking the life of anyone or the blood of anyone. Okay, it does not worth it. All right. So I just pray that let Israel and Palestine cease fire and stop killing one another. Let's just try to live in peace till the day that God is coming to take us. A very interesting video, and I know that a lot of you have thought an opinion, and I wanted to drop it at the comment section, and God is going to bless you as you do so. So this is the end of my video. If you like my reaction, you should like, share and subscribe. And if you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it in the comment section and I'm going to check it out. So guys, you remain blessed and I see you in my next video.